2, 1.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another installment of Fragments Silicon Reviews. This week we've got another 2 games. First up is I hesitate to use the word puzzle platformer. I'm like, maybe physics platformer is the appropriate platformer subgenre. I don't know. Point is, it is a platformer called Adventure Lamp. We did an interview with the creator of the game, Ryan Davis, this past Wednesday. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's available in our various archives. And indeed, it's because this game actually came out quite a while ago, by my reckoning. I think about 6 to 9 months, if I'm remembering correctly. Now, but, you know, we got the creator of the game. He gave us the game, so we are reviewing it. Now, plus, this is a game that kind of went under the radar. You know, there are quite a few games that do that these days. You know, it's like, see our various interviews for more information there. Anyway, getting back to the game itself, as mentioned, it's it is a platformer, and it's centered around a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you are a small, clumsy square archaeologist with a hard hat with a light on it, and you have to get out of the pit.
Yes, you've been trapped in a cave-in, and you've got to get out, or you die. Yeah. So you got to go through 5 worlds, about 150 stages, according to the blurb here. I'll be honest, I didn't count, but I'll note the 150 stages thing is a bit egregious, mainly because what it doesn't tell you is the size of the levels.
Yeah, each one of these stages is like, in some games you'd call them a room rather than a stage.
Yeah, it's like they are technically independent stages, but, you know, they're very micro-sized. Like, you know, you won't find any sort of elaboration in the designs here. You know, which is a bit unfortunate, because the game could have used it. Like, now going back to the interview, this game has its origins in Ludlam Dare. You know, the 48-hour game development contest, and you know, after it proved to be a success there. Was fleshed out over the course of, I'm trying to remember, like 2 years? No, 3 years?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually quite a while, but, you know, when you're a one-man dev studio, even, you know, a basic game like this, I hesitate to use that term, but, you know, this is a pretty basic platformer, you know. Which was kind of the idea, you know, given that it was initially developed, in a couple of days. And, you know, the reason, it's centered around a main gimmick. The gimmick was an unconventional weapon, I believe.
Yes.
And that's how, that's how we got the the Adventure Land weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which weapon is? I mean, it's your only real tool aside from your own natural elasticity as a cube.
yeah,
It's what you use to destroy or temporarily remove enemies and hazards, but I'm not even sure I'd say that that's the primary game mechanic, although it is an important one.
I'm like, what would you say is the primary mechanic?
The way that, well, it is sort of the helmet still, because your helmet bounces off, but like the way that your jumps are particularly unusually springy.
I'd say I still say that would be the secondary, considering the game is named after the helmet, and it was the
No, yeah, I know what you mean, and I wasn't very good at it, so maybe I wasn't playing very well, so that's probably part of it. But
now, Petty Fan, you managed to alleviate the capture problem, correct?
No, I had to record it using another software, so the stuff you're seeing on stream has all been pre-recorded.
Okay, duly noted. Yeah. So there's a half an hour footage there.
Yep.
Like, we never know how long these reviews are going to go, but I don't see this going like 35 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And that's mainly owing to its biggest downside, in my estimation, is its length. It's like, even with all the reworking and additions and what have you, this is still a very short game. It's like you can complete the main campaign, forget a matter of hours. I completed it in about 30 minutes, or no, less than 30 minutes, because I got the speedrunning achievements. And now, this isn't all there is to the game. There is a new game plus, which does change things up, actually pretty considerably, in terms of mechanics at least, because new game plus, I was actually expecting it to be like harder versions of the levels, and that was true, but that's because of the way the Monster King, I think they call him, works. Yeah, you're playing like one of the orange gels, who's trying to get out of the cave to infect the world or something like that. And his jump mechanics are a lot different than Simon. In the fact that you have to aim your jumps. Like, you have to use the analog stick to actually guide and aim where you're going to jump, and
Yes.
yeah, it's
no
like
modifying jump arcs in the air.
no.
Oh
it's
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it does make things harder. I'm like, it also made, in my estimation, the game a lot more tedious. It's like, I played it for about most of chapter 1, and like, it's worth noting that all the levels stay the same. Also, your attack changes. Instead of an adventure lamp, you attack with clones yourself.
Yep. Mini versions.
Yeah, it's
Which
like,
makes sense.
yeah. And the difference here is you can aim those, and they'll still hop around and such. So there is more to the game, but how much you enjoy that is a bit subjective. But I'm like, I'm gonna say it right now. The big problem with I have with the game isn't alleviated with New Game Plus. No, because you're still getting the same content, just presented in a different fashion. I'm like, I think there might be a few secrets in the game, but I just keep coming back to how short it is, and that kind of ties into the other caveat I have, and that's the price. the game is $10. I'm gonna say it right now. This isn't a $10 game. And I think this might be another reason why this game kind of flew under the radar.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like most I would pay is like $5. No, it's like it's a very well made game. It's very polished, but in terms of value per dollar, I don't think it's there. No,
It seems to me like it would be worth that, but I'm not necessarily the best judge of value, so.
I'm like I got to go with my own experience. I know like Petty Fan had more difficulty with the game. I'm like, I'll be honest, I was the complete opposite. I thought it was on the easy side. Like, there was no one challenge that really flummoxed me. And it's also worth noting that after about World 2, the levels start getting gimmicky. World 3 is based off of wind puzzles. World 4 is based off of darkness. And World 5 is dealing with a volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess the darkness area is probably where the hat mix becomes super important, since it's all light.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of where it justifies, the lamp portion of Adventureland, because quite honestly, outside of that, the main tool doesn't really have much justification to as being what it is, other than it works for a blue cube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the gameplay is a little bit clunky, but that's definitely intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, if you don't like floaty physics, don't go near this game. Yeah.
Well, and also jumping is elastic. You don't have a jump button. You have a scrunch button, and when you let go of scrunching, you jump.
Well, and also another issue is aiming your hat and movement are on the same stick.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many
you
times
control
I've
your
walked.
hat, but you can only really aim it where you're already going.
Yeah, so there have been many times that I've just straight up walked off the edge trying to aim my hat.
Yeah,
I've
that
had a
happens
few of those moments.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's like, uh, it definitely shows a few seams
Yeah.
in its, you know, in its development.
Like, the hat issue could have easily been solved with, like, a button that made you lock in place.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Again, I think at least to some extent, I would say probably to a large extent, the character's awkwardness is intentional.
Yeah,
But that doesn't make it. It's annoying sometimes, but I don't think that if they could have fixed it, they would have.
now, as far as music goes, there isn't any.
Yeah.
Like, or there's very little of it. So, honestly, not sure why. Or, like, no, there's definitely music there, but it's very intermittent. Like,
Yeah, you just kind of ignore it after a while, I guess you could say.
Mm.
like, and the fact that I'm having trouble remembering this, it shows how memorable it is.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Uh,
the soundtrack isn't even available to purchase even if you wanted it.
let's see. Anything else? No. I think that's about all the major points to cover here. Unless you guys can think of anything else that we missed.
Forcing people to do blind jumps are bad.
And
Yeah, this is kind of a trial and error game, a la Super Meat Boy, but it's a little bit slower than that.
Yeah, and it's
Rather,
no.
it's a little bit harder to get back to where you were after dying sometimes.
Yeah, but it's like I didn't find anything pace breaking because the levels were so short.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, contrast that with last week's review of Desync, where how the deaths were handled were a major factor in my dislike for that game, and it's interference with the pacing. Like, I really didn't feel that with this one. No, I don't know. It's like, ultimately, I found Adventure Lamp to be a solid game with with an interesting gimmick, but I think it's really hampered by its length. Um,
Definitely, at the very least, get it on sale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like on sale, it's a solid recommendation.
Yeah.
Not
It's
on
like,
sale, maybe it's too expensive for you.
yeah, $10 for this. That's a little much. Like I said, that is not even having to do with its quality. It's just, I can't ignore the fact that it's, you know, it's pretty short, especially if you're good at platforming. Uh, but maybe you feel, you might feel a little bit differently. Like, if you're somebody who maybe is into speed running and um, replaying levels over and over again, maybe that'll work for you. I don't know. It's like, all I can say is, um, recommended at a sale price. All right. Final thoughts from the crew here.
It's really cute,
Eh.
which I think is a good selling point for some things because I like cute things.
Not my personal cup of tea, but I can see where the appeal would be.
I found it fairly enjoyable, but to the individual, it'd be subjective on what you like. So, if you're up for replaying with a different set of controls, I say you get some mileage out of this. It depends on what you like.
I did find it really weird that you have to jump to end the level. I actually didn't figure that out. Right at the beginning when I got to the end of the first stage, I was wondering what to do for like half a minute. Because it's a ladder, so it looks like you should climb it like you climb ladders.
That did trip me up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think I'm about to do it for this review.
Yep.
Be sure, yeah. Be sure to tune in a little bit later, where we tackle our second game of the week, Giga Chess. Yeah. Once again, this is another game we did an interview for a couple weeks back with Gigatros Games. It's like, it's billed as a tower, a combination of chess and tower defense. It's like, I'm not exactly sure how accurate that statement would be. I get where it's coming from, but I'll be honest, it's a lot more active than a tower defense game is.
It's a hero defense game, not a tower defense game. And I know we reviewed a game called Hero Defense a while ago.
I don't think we actually reviewed Hero Defense.
Well, we talked about it. We interviewed the guy. But
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking, yeah. No, I know.
I
what
don't
game you're
mean
talking
like
about.
that, but I mean in the sense of, I mean hero defense in the sense of you are a set of more powerful characters in this case meaning chess pieces,
Yeah, yeah.
defending against an onslaught of weaker characters. There are no actual towers unless you count the rook.
Yeah,
It's
more on that.
physically a tower.
Yeah, more on that in its own review. Until such time, I wish you good gaming.